Humble Hobbies, a documentary by Amber Williamson. Synopsis. Humble Hobbies is a 2023 release documentary that aims to delve into the skills that individuals gain consciously and unconsciously whilst undertaking their personal hobbies. I will personally interview participants to tell their stories of how they initially stumbled into the world of their personal hobby and how it has evolved into the activity that they enjoy to this day. I believe that all activities that we do as humans have a purpose and wish to counter the stigma around hobbies being a time waster in favour of productive affairs. I want to shed a light onto the skills that are gained through these activities as well as the mental health benefits that undertaking our hobbies provides. This is especially relevant with the current trends of girl boss and businessmen media flooding our social media timelines to convince us that we are lazy for not having a 5 to 9 before our 9 to 5. Creative treatment. Using Nicole's modes of representation, Humble Hobbies will follow the participatory mode. Interviews will be conducted with the subjects, knowing that they are on camera and they will embrace it. The presence of cast members will be known, creating an intimate connection with the subject and the audience. Creative process. Interviews. I will be conducting personal interviews with individuals who have hobbies that have woven themselves into their everyday life. Due to the topic being something that the subjects are passionate about, it should be a lot easier for them to open up. An example of this being Jacob Ware, whose love of fish keeping came from a humble encounter with a betta fish and a laser pointer, which has now influenced his degree and career choice. Archival material. I will feature objects and video footage from when the participants first discovered their hobbies. Inspiration. Well-groomed. Well-groomed follows 4 champion creative dog groomers in the United States as they compete in timed grooming competitions with their fluffy friends. This documentary is similar to Humble Hobbies as it deep dives into the world of how and why these people have ventured into this creative world. The zoomed-in shots of the creative grooming process is similar to what I would like to include in between my interviews. Inspiration. Chicken People. Chicken People is a documentary that delves into the world of championship show chickens in the United States. Chicken People is entertaining, humorous, and occasionally delves into empathy with the swine flu epidemic hindering the participants. Snippets of interviews are used in this documentary, which I also plan to use in my own. This personal connection and showing the participants pure passion for the world of chicken breeding is exactly the light I wish to show my interviewees in. Planning. Weeks 5 and 6, brainstorming and research around the topic. Week 7, present pitch idea to other BCM217 students. Week 8, assign crew roles to other group members and create a plan together as to when we will commence our assigned tasks. Weeks 9 and 10, director, cameraman and sound designer go out and film with participants. Week 11, editor and sound designer start the editing process. Week 12, film any extra scenes needed and continue the editing process. And week 13, submit project. Crew roles. Director, head of management and the creative process around the documentary. Cameraman, handles the camera with focus, aperture and ISO to get the best shots of the participants. Sound designer, in charge of background diegetic and non-diegetic sounds, will work closely with cameraman and editor. Editor, in charge of the final editing process, will work with the director and sound designer to get the best shots out of the footage. Producer, can also be an extra task for the director if we only have a 4-person group. Location and participant scouting, getting any necessary permissions and consent forms for participants and locations. Ethical and technical considerations. DSLR camera, wireless microphone, and a tripod will need to be borrowed at appropriate times. All participants will receive a consent form, which they can withdraw their consent for at any time to remove their footage from the documentary if they are no longer comfortable. Acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land in which filming takes place. Here are my references, and thank you so much for listening to my project pitch.